A wise man once said, anything worth doing is worth overdoing. That wise man was Mick Jagger. And now, I know what you're going to say, but think about it for a second. Anything worth doing is worth overdoing. I think that is a splendid way to live life. So, in honor of the modern day philosopher, I have completely revamped my entire workout system. My nutrition and my split has been completely reworked, and I'm going to be going through that today. Every calorie, every gram of protein, everything that enters my body will be tracked, and same goes for my workouts. Every rep, every set, and every single weight I do for each set is going to be tracked. Now, today I'm going to be going through that, kind of showing some of the details. That way, if and when in the future any progress is made, you guys can always come back to this video and see kind of the plan that took me there. Let's get into it. Alright, so first we're going to be looking at my split going forward. I've already kind of been doing a modified version of this split. I've been trying to hit my legs twice a week. The only real difference is that I've been doing my shoulders on my chest and triceps day, and then I've been doing my traps as a part of my back day. But going forward, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to have a separate day for them. I do think it will be beneficial. As you can see, so all these bolded lifts are going to be our focused lifts for the workout. Don't get me wrong, everything else is important, but those focus lifts are where you're going to really want to try and push hard to do a little bit more weight than last time. But yeah, getting right into it. So we're going to start with the leg day. It's going to be more quad focused. So obviously do whatever you got to do to warm up. I like to walk 15 minutes on the treadmill, and then I do some light stretching. Afterwards, we're going to be hopping right on the hack squat machine, doing 3 sets of 10. Following that, we're going to be hopping on the glute bridge machine, also 3 sets of 10. And then to finish it off, we're going to be doing leg extensions, 3 sets of 10, hip adductions, 3 sets of 12, hip abductions, 3 sets of 12, some hamstring curls, 3 sets of 10, and then we're finishing off with some calf raises. Obviously, afterwards, do whatever you got to do to cool down. I like to walk on the treadmill, try and get some of that lactic acid out of my legs, and then definitely stretch and roll out after your workouts. It's going to be key to your recovery and making sure we're ready to go on day 4 for our next leg day. Moving on, day 2, going to be some chest and triceps. I like to start with a flat bench press. We're going to be doing 2 sets of 8, and what I mean by that, so all these set counts, these are all going to be working sets. If you need to warm up on a machine, or you need to warm up early on in the workout, do your warm up, make sure you're good, ready to go for the lift. But these are only going to be working sets. And then I would say later on in the workout too, you don't need to necessarily warm up for everything, you know. So like this workout, chest and triceps, is a good example. Once you've warmed up your chest, you don't need to do another warm up set on the converging incline Smith press, right? Or the unilateral incline chest flies. I would say maybe first tricep movement, I would want to maybe do 1 warm up set, right? Just to get them going. But other than that, if you're hitting the same muscle group again on a different machine or a different lift, you don't really need to warm it up. It's already warm. You've already lifted with it. But anyways, we're going to be doing 2 sets of 8 on a flat bench, and then we're going to be doing 1 drop set, as many reps as possible. So for me, what that kind of looks like right now at least is, so I'll warm up. My first working set will probably be around 205. Second working set, 215 or 225, depends on how I'm feeling. Afterwards, I like to drop it down to around 195, 190, right around there, and just trying to rep it out as much as possible. Really get that burn going. Next, we're going to be moving on to the converging incline Smith press. We're doing 2 working sets for 10 reps. Now, I know that this is a machine that not a lot of people have in their gym, so I think a good kind of substitute would be incline dumbbell press. That's what I was doing before I went to this gym. The main goal is we're just trying to make sure we're working all of the chest. We're not leaving out the upper chest in any parts of our chest day. After that, we're going to be moving on to unilateral incline chest fly. Again, I know a lot of gyms don't have necessarily this exact equipment. I think a good substitute for this movement would be a pec deck. Still, I would do unilateral. That way you can really bring your arm across that midpoint of your body and really get that good squeeze on your pec. Really try and get that squeeze, you know. Afterwards, we're gonna be starting our triceps. We're gonna be doing cable tricep push downs, 3 sets of 10. Obviously, if you have to warm up, go for it. But 3 sets of 10 working sets. I think a key point on the cable tricep push downs is making sure we're not using our body weight to push it down. We want it to be all tricep contraction. You know, I was doing it early on where I was doing a lot of weight, but I was kind of using some of my body weight to push it down. And when I actually realized that and started doing the form correctly, I had to lower the weight drastically. But I would say it's much better to do less weight and do the form correctly than to, you know, ego lift and not do a lift correctly. You won't see the same kind of gains as you will with correct form. Next, we're going to be moving on to the Skull Crusher machine. I'm really lucky. The gym that I work at has a lot of really nice machines. So this is going to be a cable Skull Crusher machine. 3 sets of 10, 3 working sets. You know, if you don't have this machine at your gym, some regular old Skull Crushers will suffice. But just because I have it, I like to use it. It's a little bit more of an isolated movement. You're not having to necessarily use those stabilizers. You can really hit just tricep. Afterwards, unilateral cable tricep extensions. So this is going to be to finish it off well, not real lightweight, but definitely lighter than some of the other tricep movements we're doing. And we're really going to want to just burn these out. Unilateral again, that way we're making sure we're not, you know, overcompensating on one side versus the other, and we're really getting good work on both sides of our body. Afterwards, you're going to see this is also my ab day. I like to do cable crunches, 3 sets of 12, and then hanging leg raises, 3 sets of 10. Those are the only 2 ab movements I do. That's literally it. It'll work the top part of your abs and the bottom section of your abs, your abdominal wall, I should say. And it's gotten me pretty ripped, to be honest. So I think that's totally fine. I didn't want to change up my abs at all. Moving forward, talking about some back and biceps. We're gonna start with an underhand pendulum lat pull down. Again, if you guys don't have this exact machine, you know, an underhand cable lat pull down will definitely do the job. I just like the pendulum plate loaded lat down. I find I get a better burn, better stretch on my lats using that machine, but cable works just as well. But yeah, I think key aspects on this is going to be making sure we're keeping those elbows tucked inside and really trying to pull starting at our elbow. If you use too much forearm, if you're really yanking it down there, you're not going to be necessarily executing the lifts properly and really getting that good burn on your lat. Next, we're going to be moving on to unilateral seated rows. So again, if you don't have this machine at your gym, most gyms should have this, but if you don't, a seated cable row will work just fine. This particular machine at my gym is plate loaded. It's not chest supported. You just kind of hold yourself up with your feet. Again, I would do it unilateral. That's going to kind of be a big theme going through my workout is I'm doing as much unilaterally as I can. That way I'm not overcompensating with one side when I'm lifting. That way I'm getting an equal amount of muscle growth and muscle work on each side of my body. But same thing with the unilateral seated row. We're really going to want to be trying to do this as strictly as possible. No momentum, slow on the deceleration, you know, fast on the acceleration, right? But when we're going back down to rack it, we're really going to want to move in slow, really getting that burn. I would also say, instead of trying to pull up towards your chest, try and drag your elbow down by your side. You'll feel a much better squeeze in your back. And I find I feel a lot bigger and I get a lot better of a pump when I use that as kind of a focus point for that lift. Next, we're moving on to the cable hammer curls. 3 working sets, 10 reps each set. You know, there's not much to be said. Everyone's done some hammer curls. I like to do cable hammer curls. That way there is the same amount of tension no matter where you are in the lift. Gravity is not really a factor in where your arm position's at, just because it's cable loaded, so it's always the same amount of tension. Next, we're moving on to unilateral Bayesian curls. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Bayesian. I just started doing these probably within the last month, but they've blown up my biceps. I really like them. If you don't know exactly what they are, I'd look up a video on how to execute them, but really, really good bicep movement. I would say key points kind of act like there is a pin in your elbow and you can't move your elbow. That way you're only hinging at the elbow. You're not, you know, pushing your shoulder into the movement. That way it doesn't become a compound movement. You're just using bicep contraction to bring that curl up. Next, we're going to be doing some incline curls. I've been doing these forever. I love these so much. Again, 3 working sets, 10 reps each set. For the incline curls, I would put it at the same setting you would use for an incline chest press or incline dumbbell press. And then key points on this lift that I do is let your arm extend all the way down, you know, really to where you almost feel your tricep squeeze, that it's fully extended, and then bring it all the way back up. I find I get the best burn when I do that. Next, we're going to be doing plate loaded back extensions. It's not a machine. I know I put plate loaded, but that's just going to be holding the 45-pound plate to our chest and doing some back extensions. That's going to work our lower back. Really, really need it. I think of my back, my lower back is probably my weakest point. So definitely want to hit those. Again, 3 sets of 12. And then I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really know where to put forearms. I don't really work them that much. Obviously, they get worked whenever you're having to hold a lot of weight up, or you know, hold a lot of weight. That'll work your forearms as well. But I decided to put some behind the back forearm curls on my back and biceps day, just so we're getting at least, you know, once a week, you know, a couple sets working the forearms. 3 sets of 12. I usually just use a regular barbell, throw a 5 or a 10 on each side, and we're good to go. Next, we're going to be moving into our next leg day. Obviously, same warm-up. The difference you're going to see is right here, we are changing the big movement, or the focus movement of the lift. We're going to be barbell squatting. I like to change it up a little bit. That way I don't get bored, but also so I'm working the same muscles, but in a different way. Whereas hack squat is definitely more quad focused. Barbell squat uses a lot more hamstrings and glutes, especially at the top of the lift. We're going to be doing 3 working sets. So obviously do what you got to do to warm up, but we're going to be doing 3 working sets for 8 reps. The other difference you'll see in my leg day is I have switched around hamstring curls and leg extensions. In the first day, I had leg extensions right after that, like those 2 focus lifts. And in the second leg day, I've got hamstring curls. We flipped it around. That way, we're not only hitting hamstrings when, you know, we're dead tired at the end of a lift. You know, you really want to make sure you're doing equal reps, equal sets, but also equal energy for these lifts. That way we're getting the maximum amount of return, maximum amount of muscle growth. Everything else about the leg day remains the exact same. You know, hip adductions, abductions, rep counts, set counts, they all remain the same. Next, moving on to our shoulder and traps day. We're going to be doing standing military press. This is going to be strict. We want no momentum, no like dipping down and really pushing up. We want it to be as strict as possible. So if you got to lower the weight to do it strictly, lower the weight. Again, 3 working sets. If you got to warm up however you need to, but 3 working sets, 8 reps each set. Next, we're going to be doing seated dumbbell shoulder press. I think key points about the dumbbell shoulder press, make sure we're not putting our arms straight to the side here. You know, kind of bring them in line with your body. That way it's a little bit easier on your joints, and we're not way out here. This is a little bit awkward. Again, I don't know why I put each. We're not doing this movement unilaterally. This is going to be both at the same time, you know, going up, going down. But 3 working sets, 8 reps each. Afterwards, we're going to be doing unilateral cable lateral raises. Reason I like the cables, I mentioned earlier for the hammer curls, or I think for the Bayesian curls, how do you say that? But there's constant tension. You know, the tension never changes because it's a cable. It's, you know, the weights are just moving directly up and down. You know, it's not affected by gravity and where your arm position's at. So with these unilateral cable lateral raises, stand as close to the pole as possible. Really try and bring your arm across when you're going down, and really try your best to have a loose grip on the handle, or use straps if you want. That way you're not using your forearm or any other parts of your arm, and really just try to bring that arm straight up to the side. 3 working sets, 10 reps each set. Next, we're going to be doing barbell front raises. That's going to be hitting our front delts and a little bit of side chest. I like to use the easy curl bars, usually over with the dumbbell section. We're just going to be doing 3 sets, 10 reps. Afterwards, we're going to go over to that pec deck machine, flip around on it, and do some rear delt flies. Again, 3 working sets, 10 reps. Afterwards, we're going to move on to the plate-loaded shrug machine. If you don't have this machine in your gym, you could just use dumbbells. You could use a barbell. I like the plate-loaded shrug machine. I think it works really well for me. We're going to be doing 3 sets of 12, and on that 12th rep, try and hold it. You know, so if we're going 10, 11, 12, try and hold it for about 8 seconds. Really get that burn. You'll feel it in your traps. Afterwards, we're going to be doing cable face pulls. We're going to be right here, pulling through our face. It's going to be working our traps, our rear delts, really just finishing off, burning everything up. And then you'll see we're also working abs this day. So another thing, my ab days, right? I got cable crunches and hanging leg raises. We've got 2 days in between our ab days as well. And again, after our shoulder and trap days, we've got a rest day, and then we're hitting our abs again 2 days later. That is constant throughout the split. I just like doing it that way. I don't hit abs too much, but I like to kind of space it out. That way I can recover and really hit them hard, you know? But everything's gonna remain the same, 3 sets of 12 and 3 sets of 10 for the cable crunches and hanging leg raises. Next, moving on to our 3rd leg day of the split. Really the only differences in these leg days are going to be the focus points, or the focus movements, I should say. You can see on our 3rd leg day, it's going to be deadlift, and then we're adding that glute bridge machine back into the lift. We're putting leg extensions first again, and hamstring curls near the back. And then on our 4th leg day, you can see that is once again flipped, where, you know, our focus lift is going to be barbell RDLs, and then our hamstring curls are going to be going first, and our leg extensions are going to be near the back of the lift. On the deadlift, obviously do whatever you got to do to warm up. 3 working sets, 8 reps. I don't like to sumo deadlift. I like to keep the knees tucked in, and then as best as I can, I like to go overhand. I don't like to change up my grip that much. That way we're really also getting some good forearm work in that deadlifting session. And then on our 2nd chest and tri day, really the only difference you're going to see is on these focus lifts. So whereas on our first one we did flat bench press and then a converging incline Smith, we're going to start with incline bench press. Same thing, 2 sets of 8 working sets, and then 1 drop set. And then as our second movement, we're going to be doing converging flat Smith press. So basically a good way to think about this is, on our first day, we're doing regular bench and then incline dumbbell press, right? Second day, second chest and try day, we're doing incline bench and then flat dumbbell press. These converging Smith machines are just kind of in place of dumbbells. I think they work it a little bit better, and since I have access to them, why not use them? But if you don't have access to them, dumbbells are going to do almost the exact same thing for you. But we're really trying to make sure we're hitting our upper chest and our lower chest with different movements during these days. And then for the converging flat Smith press, 2 sets of 10, not going too crazy. Everything else pretty much remains exactly the same. I know I put back and biceps B on here, but everything about the back and biceps day is exactly the same. I didn't change a single thing. And then same with the leg day, except for the differences I already mentioned. And then our shoulders and traps day is exactly the same as well. So that is kind of going to be the split that I'm using over the next couple of months. I'm sure there'll be some minor tweaks here and there, but overall that's going to be kind of the big movements I'm doing, those focus lifts, and this is kind of going to be what I'm following. So yeah, let's move on to nutrition. Okay, moving on to nutrition. I made the last spreadsheet. I did not make this spreadsheet. Some friends of mine who are much smarter than I am helped me, or I didn't help me make this. They just completely made it and sent it over to me. I kind of told them what my goals were and everything. So thank you. You made this so much easier for me. But yeah, so I'm gonna be bulking until I hit 230. I think that's kind of what I decided. I'm not gonna stop until I hit 230. As of this morning, I was 214, so we've got 16 pounds to go. It'll probably take a few months, but we'll get there eventually. But I'm not gonna cut. I'm not gonna do anything until I hit 230. The moment I hit 230, I'm allowed to start cutting, but it's not gonna be for a while. My calorie goal for each day is going to be between 3,500 and 4,300, and then my protein goal is going to be between 210 grams and 235 grams. So if you look, I'm starting all of this today, by the way. I had my first workout using the split this morning. We were doing chest and try, so I'd already hit legs previous day, so we just started with chest and try. And then I started using this meal plan this morning. I'm going to stick exactly to this meal plan. Everything I eat is going to be off of this meal plan. So you can see we've got a few breakfast options: breakfast bowl, breakfast quesadilla, yogurt bowl, protein smoothie, waffles, oatmeal bowl, and then some egg bites. Really nice of people that made this for me. I mean, like everything is tracked. It is amazing. So it makes everything really easy to track in terms of what I'm eating and how long it takes me to bulk. But as you can see, we've got some really high protein, high calorie meals for breakfast. Personally, I had the breakfast quesadilla this morning. It was really good. I gotta say, I've been eating pasta and ground beef or rice and ground beef for so long now. I've been doing it for about 8 months, where 1 to 2 meals out of the day was half pound of ground beef and some pasta, and man, I am sick of it. I am so freaking sick of it. So this right here is, just the best thing in the world. Can't say thank you enough, because it makes eating easier, one, but it also makes it enjoyable again. I'd kind of gotten to the point where it wasn't really enjoyable. I was really just eating for fuel, but I think this is gonna kind of bring that back, which is really nice. Really nice of them to make this for me. As we move on to lunch, you see we've got 2 options. We've got a homemade Chipotle bowl or a chicken quesadilla. Again, we've got all the calorie and protein statistics at the end there. Total amount of protein and calories. And then for dinner, we've got some pasta, some pizza, some sweet potato, or a sweet potato chicken bowl, and then some Cajun pasta. I'm actually really excited to try that Cajun pasta. But I have been given permission by them to, show this and use it in my videos. So, feel free if you're a guy with my similar build. I'm 6'6" right now. I'm 214, but I started this journey. I was 176 pounds, right? So, I mean, if you're a guy and you have my kind of build, tall and skinny, this is going to kind of be the plan for you. I had that pasta the other night. I got sent this a few days ago, and I've been looking at it. I had that pasta the other night, and I know it's exactly what I said, pasta and ground beef, but you would be surprised what half a cup of sauce does. I mean, it made all the difference in the world. It actually made it, a little more digestible than what I usually eat. But again, some really, really high calorie, high protein options. Going to be crucial for some weight gain. And then for the snacks, just some rice cakes, bagel with cream cheese, a little bit of honey. Moving down here, this is going to be everything that you're buying at the grocery. Any of the fruits, snacks, your meat, eggs, nuts, seeds, vegetables, this is going to be everything right here. I really can't say thank you enough for this awesome meal plan. I don't think I would have been able to make something as detailed on my own, and so this is really, really cool. But that's kind of an overview of the nutrition plan I'm going to be following in the coming future. We're not stopping the bulk until I hit 230 pounds. Just got to see how long it takes. Hopefully after a while we'll see some progress, and this video can kind of be living proof that, if you make a plan and you stick to it, you can totally see progress. You just got to be consistent. I think that's the biggest thing. Not necessarily going into the gym day one and going balls to the wall and hurting yourself, because that's a little bit counterintuitive. I think it's, if you got to start small, start small. My first workout back when I started in April, I was 176 pounds. My first workout, I only did 18 pull-ups. I did 6 sets of 3, and I was done. And I was done for the day. That was it. It was literally, that was the whole workout, 18 pull-ups. And then I guess later in the day I ran 2 miles and I threw up. So everyone starts somewhere, right? It's not necessarily about having the best workout of your life every day of your life, or eating the best you ever can every single day of your life, right? It's unattainable. It's not going to happen, right? It's about on those days, right? Like when I'm feeling like, okay, I'm not going to have a good lift today, really focusing on what I'm eating. That way, the next day, I can have a better lift, Or if I'm struggling with eating, right, taking a breather, right, taking some personal time and really focusing on getting that right, kind of just doing what you can. But I definitely think the biggest aspect is consistency and discipline. You could be the most motivated person in the world, but that's going to wear out at some point, and then you're kind of going to be stuck. Whereas if you're disciplined and you're practicing, eating right, lifting correctly, not ego lifting. If you're doing things right, it makes it a lot easier to be consistent. At least that's what I found, right? I don't go into the gym every day and, lift until I am literally, can't lift anything else. I think it's dumb. I push myself, don't get me wrong, and I go to failure on certain things, but I don't come home from the gym and I'm just wiped for the day, because you need to make sure you're able to come back and do the same thing in a few days or tomorrow, But that's gonna be it for this video. Just kind of showing the plan moving forward. Got a lot of exciting stuff planned for future videos. I just kind of gotta translate it to the camera. Obviously, I'm still figuring out this whole filming thing, but we'll get the hang of it. But I think that's gonna be it. So see you guys later.